We'd like to get things started typically with a quick welcome from a local dignitary, and I'm very proud to have someone from the College of Natural Resources at UW-Stevens Point here to welcome us. Brian Sloss is an associate dean in the College of Natural Resources, and he actually then supervises a lot of our external projects. So the college has both an undergraduate and master's education program, but also a program to reach out across the state of Wisconsin and beyond. So without further ado, I'm going to turn the mic over to Brian Sloss.
Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to the 2018 Wisconsin Lakes Partnership Convention and Water Action Volunteer Symposium. That's quite a mouthful when I saw the actual formal title. As Eric mentioned, I'm Brian Sloss. I'm Associate Dean of Outreach and Extension for the College of Natural Resources. I came to Wisconsin as a fisheries conservation geneticist 16 years ago. The wealth and diversity of Wisconsin's aquatic resources, coupled with their overall quality, was well, I have down the single most factor. The single most factor is there was a job here. But that was the draw. It brought me to Wisconsin. And 16 years later, it's one of the key reasons why I've chosen to put down roots and raise my children in Wisconsin, which I think is probably very similar to many of you here. I'm humbled to welcome you here today. As you come together to renew friendships, share stories, learn and educate, but most importantly, participate in the shared interest, professionalism, and overall passion for our lakes, waterways, and overall water resources of our state and country. In addition, I'd like to point out that the convention has partnered with the Midwest Great Lakes chapter of the Society for Ecological Restoration to offer you even more opportunities and network building events after this. I'd like to thank all the convention organizers, Eric, and all of your team for another successful year. I get a peek in from time to time on the efforts that all these folks put into this event, and I can only say better you than me. You put in long hours, but every single year you put on a wonderful, wonderful convention. Thank you very much. As Associate Dean of Outreach and Extension for the CNR, I'm excited to represent my college and the university this morning. The College of Natural Resources is the largest of its kind in the nation and a preeminent natural resource institute in the world. We have over 1,500 current students that are majoring in various natural resources career-focused degrees. This results in a lot of alumni across the nation. How many of you here today are alumni of the CNR or UWSP? Bravo. I can only say welcome home. How many of you have worked with a pointer? That'd probably be the rest of your hands, I would guess, whether you know it or not. One of my earliest memories here at Point was going to national conventions all over the nation and even a few international events and realizing I couldn't walk 10 feet without running into a pointer. It was a little intimidating, especially because I admit I'm not an alumni. But I think I've been here long enough to start to get dipped in the blood of what it means to be a CNR professional. The mission of CNR and really of our university is consistent with what we do here at this convention, what you do at this convention every year. As many of you know, the university is facing some challenges that are related to state and regional priorities, budgets, enrollments, and philosophies. I'm not going to get into any of the specifics here. This isn't the time or the place. But the higher education landscape is drastically changing. Change, although we often all advocate for it in isolation, never occurs in a vacuum. When it comes to your doorstep, it can be downright scary, as we've experienced. But change occurs whether we like it or not. The successful programs, businesses, ideas, and people adapt to change. We are doing our level best to adapt to this change as well. Moving forward, the College of Natural Resources will continue to strive to produce the next generation of resource stewards, leaders, and thinkers. We will adapt and evolve to offer degrees that are currently needed, as well as prepare students for the careers that they will encounter 30 years from now. Similar to the careers that many of us started on the very front edge of the computer revolution, and we wouldn't even imagine today that in our pockets would be computers far in advance of our first Apple II Pluses that sat on our desk. We're proposing and attempting to build new and exciting opportunities in environmental engineering and ecological design and restoration, as well as other majors that you may have read about. All of this while maintaining our high-quality, diverse, interdisciplinary majors that we're known for. The need for our young graduates and their skills, knowledge, and aptitudes is not shrinking, but changing. And we will continue to our march, and we'll continue to produce those high-quality students we've become known for. That brings me to my central theme of this welcome, relationships. At the root of our successful career resource managers is not just the technical or analytical skills. No. The most successful of our students and of our professionals realize that the root of all of that we do is the human element. The ability to communicate to experts, lay audiences, and probably most importantly, our children. The ability to empathize with alternative priorities or philosophies and find the answer that meets the widest needs while still meeting our goals and objectives. Relationships, both professionally and personally, are at the root of what we do. For decades, the CNR's relationships with our fellow faculty and staff in other colleges, state agencies, especially the Department of Natural Resources, UW Extension, and many federal and private resource groups has defined our integrated approach to education, research, outreach, and extension. And it is indicative of the group of people we have here and your mission and goals for this convention. This applied mission culminates in our successful implementation of the Wisconsin idea, a term you may have heard a lot but may not be totally familiar with what it means. And it's basically the principle that UW's education, research, and outreach should not be bound by the classroom, should not be bound by the sidewalks that encompass UW-Stevens Point, but should reach throughout the borders of the state, region, and nation. We live that mission in our college throughout our relationships, and our relationships, such as those present here today, define our success. Thank you for being a part of our relationship circle. Moving forward, I'd like to just summarize with it that I see the short story of our success and your success and the success of all of our resource management stewards lying in a shared trust, a trust in the mission, a trust in the persons leading the mission, a trust in the partners, and a trust in the resulting science, outcomes, and applications. We pride ourselves on not only earning your trust, but showing our trust to all of our partners and citizens. Thank you for continuing to trust our college, our wonderful faculty and staff who make us what we are. Thank you to those that make what we do possible, and thank you to all who share an encouraging word and/or note. In the current climate, those small little emails, small little notes do not go unnoticed, and they're very appreciated. Enjoy the convention. Thank you for listening to me today, and thank you for being a part of our Wisconsin water and natural resources community.